Welcome back to the regulars, and if you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, let's have a drink. Did you hear about the ice shortage that happened last month? There was an ice shortage.
Are you pranking me?
You could buy water bottles at the gas station, but you couldn't buy ice. It was our first day open as a bar, and we went to like 4 gas stations, Smith's, everything. Couldn't find any ice. I had to serve some iceless drinks. Every time someone says meat pie, I automatically think Sweeney Todd.
I've never watched Sweeney Todd.
Oh no!
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna like a meat pie, but it's pretty good actually.
What tattoos do you have?
So I have a Zia symbol tattoo on my rib cage. It was my first tattoo. Yikes. And I was 17 and I got it in a dorm room. It's not bad.
Okay.
The guy honestly was not bad. He was very nice and it was all like very like clean and sanitized, and you know, he had like clean needles, and I almost passed out on his like dorm room bed and I'm like getting this tattoo. He gave me multiple tattoos. So I have wrist tattoos of my parents' birth years.
1964, and that's the name of a horror book.
Is it?
Is that George Orwell?
Familiar.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Dystopia.
This is my mother's birth year.
So 64 and 50.
And 59.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I got that for them. Well, this is
Little swallow.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, I don't know why I got that, but I just thought it looked
They're
nice.
cool.
Yeah,
Really
I was
cool.
like, I kind
Classic.
of love it. Yeah. And then I have one on the back of my arm that says "Take risks," which like feels really cringy. I don't hate it because I have this like, I guess I still have an obsession, but I used to have an obsession with Macklemore.
I used to get called Macklemore in high school.
I was gonna say you kind of
Yep,
remind
there
me
it
of
is.
him. I actually met Macklemore here in Albuquerque when he performed at El Rey. I don't know. I think not that I'm taking insane risks in my life, but I think like it's a good reminder that like life is short and you should take risks.
Good.
Fall's
real good.
impeccable here. The leaves, the bosque is always so pretty. Obviously, the Buen Fiesta.
Oh, yep.
Is
True.
incredible. I just like how the fall feels here. Like it's a very nice temperature. It's not windy, whereas the spring is asshole because it's so windy. I
I've
love
never
the
heard
temperature,
someone
but
called
it's so windy.
a season asshole.
It is asshole. I went to Amarillo to shoot a wedding. That sounds like scary, but out of
I was going to
context.
say, okay, so I assume you're a videographer then, like you like film weddings.
Yes.
You're not like
that
one,
is me. No.
Okay. I know every girl and guy, frankly, whoever gets a camera in high school is like, I want to become a photographer, right?
Yeah,
But it sounds like you actually are one, right?
Yes.
So what does that look like?
I definitely started out like that way. You know,
Yeah.
I was in high school and I was like, oh, I love taking pictures for Instagram. Like I want to look hot on Instagram.
Yeah, fair.
As like a 14-year-old. And then I just kind of snowballed. And then I guess I'm from Portales, New Mexico.
Oh,
my parents taught there. ENMU is interesting. Portales is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you've heard stories
there.
about that.
There's a dairy on every entrance.
It always smells like dairy. It
Yeah.
always smells like cow.
I mean, 4th of July's are crazy. They're super crazy.
Honestly, the racism and
Racism, the sexism, the homophobia, anti-climate.
Funny because I feel like I have so much anxiety about everything.
Yeah.
Like so much anxiety about like obviously the climate. Like we just had a fire and it's April.
Fucking everything up.
People's homes are going up in flames. You know, like Ruidoso has fires all the time.
So you've been in Montana before?
Yes.
Okay, I lived there for a couple years, and I was there during the 2017 summer fire where Glacier burned. You couldn't see the sun some days. It was smokeless, and this was when I was in Billings.
Just far from Glacier.
Yeah, it was
That's
bad.
insane. I think Montana's like amazing. Summer used to be the best time to be there, and now it's like you can't see anything in the summer. Like,
no, because it's always on fire.
It's smoky.
Yeah.
Like it hurts to go outside and breathe.
The air hurts your lungs.
It does give me a lot of anxiety, like thinking about, the climate and
All the shit going
racism,
down.
homophobia.
Yeah, I ran into a lot of Nazis up there, like skinheads, especially in Great Falls
Skinheads.
area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There's so many skinheads in Spokane. The thing about Portales to me that's crazy, all of these people are so ignorant and like so uninformed and so oblivious to like that the world is figuratively and literally on fire.
Yep.
I'm not jealous of them because I think that's why these issues continue to be a thing.
Oh, yeah.
It just would be really awesome if I could just like not think about all of these things in a way, because obviously ignorance is bliss, right?
And I think there's a difference between ignorance and naivety. I think that ignorance is choosing to ignore something, whereas naivety is just purely not knowing. You know what I mean? Okay, growing up in Albuquerque, right?
Right.
I never really saw a lot of racism because, frankly, there's less white people here, but we were a nice little melting pot, and I was never really around it. It still exists. I'm not saying it doesn't exist here, but I was never around it growing up. And then I go to Montana, and I'm like, oh, you don't like black people.
You've
Weird.
never seen a person who's not white in your life.
Yeah, wild. You think that the Mexicans are coming to Montana and taking your jobs. Okay, all million of you here.
They're going to go across the country.
Yeah, to the cold.
Yeah. I think about this a lot because I'm a white woman. Obviously, I don't have a lot of struggles. Like, maybe the only struggle I have is being a woman.
Well, especially down there in conservative America, you're the baby maker.
Yeah, I'm the baby maker. Ignorance is bliss. And I think that there's lack of education. I think that that's why the pregnancy rates are so high. That's why these people are like popping out all these babies because they are just uneducated. And I remember when I was in high school, there was like 2 pregnant girls in each grade. And our school was 500 or 400 or 600 people. I knew girls that were pregnant in 8th grade and 7th grade. Their parents were not educated. They were not educated on safe sex or,
birth control, condom use, how to have sex appropriately, consent.
Exactly.
That's an issue.
They were not educated on
teach
any
abstinence.
of it.
In my mind, it's their parents' fault. No matter what we can do as a society, the parents are always pushing back. For the 90s, homeschooling wasn't a big deal until it became legalized and standardized by Christian nationalism. And as homeschooling went up, so did the power of the right political party. So homeschooling gets you away where you don't have to teach stuff like basic science, evolution, healthcare, economics, anything like that. You can just teach out of a Christian book.
Right.
Florida just banned a lot of math books because of critical race theory in math, right? Even though that's only a subject that's really taught on a college level standard.
At least for Talis, the school system is incredibly fucked. And it is. And this is why my parents sent me to Bozeman, Montana, which has an incredible incredible education system. The school system does not teach sex ed in sex ed is abstinence.
Yes, which doesn't work.
At the school system, in the school system. So this is these teachers for however, I don't know how this happens or how they're allowed to do that, but that's literally there's a sex ed class and they just tell you, well, don't have sex and you won't get pregnant. And then all these kids are getting pregnant. Exactly. Yes, religion is in the school. There is no separation. They always prayed at every single event, at every single thing. Also don't care that there's a potential that everyone doesn't think like them.
Yeah, because I'm an
their
atheist.
Way is right.
I show up and I'm like, well, why are you I can understand prayer because I understand communing with the divine, right?
Right.
However, should that be at that level? It's indoctrination. Who doesn't have a fully developed brain that can be easily indoctrinated for a good reason too? Kids were able to teach right from wrong.
They're very impressionable.
But you don't need to teach them through a religious lens because then it often teaches homophobia, bigotry in general, a lack of disregard for all of the amendments except for the Second Amendment. You know what I mean? No one gives a shit about right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. All they care about is guns. And in all honesty, if they do change the education system and promote higher education and all these things that we've talked about, they would lose out a lot of their populace from moving. So it behooves of them to undereducate their people so they stay stuck. If they remain dumb and ignorant, they'll stay. As
a white woman who is funky, I got so many looks and so much, hate and old people being oh, because I had purple hair at one point.
Dude, they hate colored hair for some reason.
I mean, I like the idea of living in a rural area, being very small town, everyone knows everyone. Mm-hmm. But I do think generally people are attracted to that because then they surround themselves with people that are like them and they don't have to accept that there is diversity and that people look different than they do or are different than they are,
Yeah.
So I started by doing videos. So when I was 13, 13, I started going to these film camps in Denver, and I would go there every summer basically. I kind of really started getting interested in that. I was always I want to do something with movies. I want to make movies, I want to direct movies, I want to film movies, whatever. I went to NMSCU. I went for a semester to get the film degree. After a semester, I was this is stupid. Everything I'm learning here, I already know. I don't need to learn how to do the rule of thirds. I know the basics of filmmaking. And to pay a lot of money, and then I switched to sociology, and then I dropped out after that.
Nice.
After a year.
Dropouts.
Yeah. So it's fun.